Hi Royal Rangers, Commander Mike here. Today's lesson, we're going to talk about curing meat. Why is that important? Because we can make bacon. So stay tuned, we're going to learn how to make bacon. Alright, so to make bacon, we start with a cut of meat called the pork belly. You can find these at your local butcher shop or your favorite grocery store. If you buy the whole pork belly, it'll come, I've seen them anywhere from 7 to 13 pounds. And that's going to make a lot of bacon. My example I'm showing today, I took one that was about 9 pounds, cut it by 3, so that way I could have it fit within gallon-sized Ziploc bags. Here's an example. This one fits perfectly within a gallon Ziploc bag. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's approximately 2.5 to 3 pounds. That'll give you a measurement for when we start to make our cure. Now that we have our cut of meat taken care of, we're going to talk about the curing process. And there's really 3 main ingredients, and you can add as many as you want. But as long as you have a salt, a sugar, and a flavoring, you're good to go. So let's talk about some of the flavorings we're going to work with today. We're going to work with just a generic coarse salt. You can find this at your local grocery store. We're going to have a sugar. I happen to use brown sugar. You can use whatever type of sugar you want. This is all about the sweetness of the meat. You can add pepper if you want. You can add molasses, and here we have an example of molasses. Or you could add your favorite type of honey. So we'll take that and we're going to start mixing that in the bowl. So now that you know the basic ingredients of a cure, let's talk about this. We're going to take our measuring cup, put in 1/4 cup of your favorite salt, coarse ground. Next, we're going to put in 1/4 cup of your favorite sugar. Next, for this recipe, I'm going to put this one down. And I'm going to take 4 big teaspoons of molasses. This is sugary goodness, yummy. And then I'm going to take in 3 big spoonfuls of honey. And this is also delicious. Put that all into your mixing bowl, mix it all up. It's going to turn into this gelatinous paste. And that's exactly what you want for this next recipe. That paste we're going to take under our pork belly. You want to make sure your pork belly fits within a gallon size freezer bag. Take it out of the bag, and you're going to smear it all over the pork belly on one side. Make sure it gets good coverage, and you have a lot of it on that one side. Make sure you reserve enough so you still have half for the other side. Slide it into the freezer bag. Take the remaining paste and apply it on the top while it's inside the bag. The reason I say that is it gets really messy if you pick it up and try to insert it into the bag. It's a little bit easier if you have one side already with the curing paste on there, and then you just put that on top. So let's take a look and see what this really looks like. So this is an example of a pork belly that's been curing about 4 days now. Notice all the liquids at the bottom. That is the moisture that's drawn out of the pork belly when you get to make your bacon. So this is only about 3 days away from actually being able to smoke and then make bacon. So now that you have a pork belly in your favorite gallon size container, you want to put the cure on each side. So now it's on both sides. You'll take that into, I use this for example. This is just a bin, plastic bin, and I put this in the bottom and lay it flat. You want to make sure you take the opening to your gallon size container and leave it up. That way when the liquids start pulling out of the meat, it doesn't get to be a mess. Each day, you're going to take this, flip it over. Again, make sure you have the opening to your favorite gallon size freezer bag up so the liquids don't pour out. And you'll just put it back in your bin. So let's take a look at an example. In this example, this has been curing for 4 days now. It usually takes a total of 7 days to cure bacon. Bacon. So this is 4 days into a 7-day cure, and already you can tell there's a lot of liquid that's been drained out of this, and that's a good thing. So every night, I'll just lay this back down, and then I'll flip it over every night. And one of the pitfalls is when you don't put that opening to your favorite gallon-sized freezer bag, it'll end up spilling all over, and it'll be a giant mess in your fridge, and you really don't want that to happen because then you got to go clean it up. That's the start to making bacon. So let's recap. We started with a pork belly. We took the pork belly, and we made a cure, a salt and sugar cure. You can add whatever flavors you want. One example is black pepper. If you like black pepper, add that to your pork belly. If you like jalapeno and you want to kick it up and have some spicy bacon, add that as well. So once we have our cure and our mix into like a gelatinous mass. We spread that on the top and on each side, and then we set that in some sort of a container. This is one example. And you put it down there, and now it's the waiting game. It takes about 7 days for this to totally cure. Every day you want to take that and flip that over. And this is where it's not so fun, because at this point we have to wait another 3 days before I can finish this video. And that's going to be part 2. So stay tuned. So now we have pork belly in a cure, resting in the refrigerator, or very soon to be in the refrigerator, ready to cure, and then we get to make the final bacon. So let's just recap. We started with a cut of meat, the pork belly. I cut it into sizes that will fit within your favorite gallon-sized freezer bag. Then we made a cure. It consisted of salt, a sugar, and I happen to use molasses and honey. You can add whatever you want. Do you like black pepper? Add some black pepper. If you want to make it really spicy, add some jalapeno powder to it. Make it whatever you want. That's the joy of making your own bacon and curing your own meat, is you can flavor it however you want. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you lose. So one thing to keep in mind of as you are curing your meat, you want to make sure that this liquid is evenly spread. If you have a spot that has a lot of pressure and the liquids are not getting to it, you're going to have a spot that's a lot of salt and not very much flavor. So that's just a tip. So now comes the hard part about bacon. We have to wait. That's part of curing meat. So I'm going to take this that's already 4 days in. I'm going to go put this in the fridge and let it cure 3 more days. At the end of 3 days, well, that's where the fun begins. And that's where part 2 to this lesson is going to be. How to smoke bacon and what to do with it next. Thank you for tuning in. If you like this channel and the content we're provided, hit the like button. You can see that down there, right about there, or right about there. Look down right below the video, you'll find the like button, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more of this content. Thank you much.